life I've been a Star Wars fan. Never personally really gotten into the lightsaber culture. I've known about it, but just never really kind of like jumped into it. And earlier this year, started getting into lightsabers. I got a couple cheaper ones to kind of get my foot in the door a little bit. Very quickly, I learned about a company called Sabertrio, and I loved what they had to offer. I just didn't feel like spending that much money on a lightsaber when I was new in the hobby, so I got a couple of things. And then, once I finally started to pull the trigger on a Sabertrio, I had two models that I wanted to get. I wanted to get the Senza first, and the second one I wanted to get was the Aaron. Earlier this year, I tried to place an order for the Senza on one of their openings, and it was sold out instantly. So I got the Aaron. Luckily, I was able to get that one in stock. Now, I finally was able to get the Senza. And this thing is absolutely amazing, and I love this. It reminds me kind of the Cal Kestis style with the fins on it, although they are vented on the side, or slotted, whatever you want to call it. So it's not exactly like Cal Kestis, but it is got a very Cal Kestis style to it, and I love this thing. Let's just get it turned on so you can see what it looks like.
Best part about getting a lightsaber is always turning it on. That never gets old. Doesn't matter how many times you turn it on or off, the ignition is always the best part. But having the purple switch with a purple blade just really kind of complements each other. I'm sure having a blue switch with a blue blade would be the same. They just really work together. But if you have a different color blade with that switch, it still works.
You can't win.
Even having a different color blade with a different button still works. Now, if you're not decided on what color you want, really getting a white switch or just no color is probably the safest bet. But honestly, I think even with a blue blade and a purple switch, or a red blade and purple switch, it still looks good. I would not be worried about that at all. And it's just, I mean, how can you complain about anything with a lightsaber? We live in a time now where lightsabers are kind of real. Not real, but real. Yes, I know. Even my cat likes lightsabers. Everyone likes lightsabers. Adults, kids, cats. I'm sure your dog will like one. We all like lightsabers.
You're wasting your time.
No, I'm not. One thing to note if you're looking at getting a Senza, if you already have a blade plug for something such as the Aaron, and you want to use your blade plug on this one, you can, but there's a bit of a catch that I learned. Let me turn it on real quick. Don't want to have it on too loud and be talking over, but you notice how the blade plug is all the way kind of in there? It is, the blade plug for the Aaron, which I got first, is much shorter than the blade plug that you need for this one. I believe that they do offer blade plugs that are a little bit longer. So the blade plug works, I always have a hard time saying that. The blade plug works on this one, but it is much lower as opposed to sitting right at the base of the emitter like it would if you got a blade plug for this one. So it does work, just something to note. So my Aaron, when I got this one, I wanted to get a white LED switch. I wanted something just really kind of simple and basic as far as the looks on it goes. So I decided on my Senza, let's do something a little bit different, and I went with a purple switch. And I actually really like the way the purple switch looks. Especially when you have a purple blade on, it just looks perfect. If you have a different color such as blue or red or white, still looks fine. It doesn't really look like it's clashing or anything. But when you have a purple blade, it just kind of adds to the effect that much more. And I've also noticed with my Aaron, when I have a white blade, the white button kind of adds to it as well. So whatever color LED you get, it really kind of accentuates having that blade color turned on. Just kind of a cool little thing to note. Okay, so if you're thinking about getting Sabertrio and you're curious about some of the sound fonts on here, or if this is your first Sabertrio video, or you just want to see more sound fonts, let me show you some of that come on here. Let's just start with Obi-Wan Kenobi, because why not?
Lovely. More smiling faces.
I mean, how can you go wrong with Obi-Wan Kenobi? And a mixture of the blue and the purple switch doesn't look bad at all. It does look best when you have the purple on it,
but I think it still looks good even if you got a red blade or a blue blade or whichever. It still looks good with the purple switch. If you are skeptical on what color LED to do for the switch, I would either just do white because that works with all of them, or just opt for no color. But really looks good no matter what. I mean, it's really hard to complain about anything with the lightsaber. We live in a time where we actually have lightsabers now, so yeah. All right, let's show you some of the other sound fonts.
Sound bank selection.
This is General. This is ancient prophecy.
This is one of my favorite ignitions that come on this. This ignition is amazing. How can you complain with that? Show you what clash sounds like. I really like this one because most of them kind of clash white. This one kind of clashes yellow, just like it. And that growl is nasty. And even still, purple with red looks good to me. And I love that little kind of flickering at the end, like it's still powered a little bit. Let's see some of the other ones though.
Sound bank selection.
Crystal focus.
This one's called Crystal Focus and probably has my favorite just sound on it. The sound on this thing is absolutely nasty. Kind of subtle right here, but the second you swing it, it's just got the meanest nasty tone. Love that sound to it. Just one more time. Oh, it's so nasty. And a clashing sound. Got a long, drawn-out clash, which is kind of cool. A little different than the other ones. Yeah. All right, let's see some of the other ones, though. Notice even that one, though, the switch and the orange still look good.
Snippets.
Gotta do snippets, right? Who doesn't like Ahsoka? And that sound! Ahsoka's sound is really weird. It's got this kind of calm and aggressive sound at the same time. I love it. But again, purple and white looks great, to me at least. If you want to see the clash, kind of the traditional clash on that one. Alright, let's see some of the other ones.
I've been waiting for this day for a long time.
Kylo Ren, little kind of unstable lightsaber. Why not? That looks pretty nice to me, so. A lot of them actually have kind of a mean sound. There's only a couple that are genuinely calming. I mean, Kylo, this is obviously going to be a Sith, so it's going to be aggressive. But even snippets is kind of aggressive. But Ahsoka has aggressive fighting style, so that kind of makes sense, but still. Actually, show you one more time. Red and purple looks great. I don't want to beat on a dead horse with this, but it just looks good. And really, I think if you had a yellow or blue or whatever color switch, it would look good with pretty much any color blade. If not 100% positive, just get white or get no color at all.
Ready.
Really slow ignition. Those slow ignitions are just very dramatic. Not really practical, but just dramatic and cool. And it's also got a slow retraction. It just looks cool.
Sound bank selection.
Ready.
Nebula.
I love that ignition. It starts off yellow and then very quickly goes red. This one actually has kind of a calming sound. It's one of the few ones that has a kind of calm, quiet sound. Just show that one more time. Same thing, it goes yellow when it retracts. Oh, I love that.
It's party folk.
Okay, I have a purple switch. You know I gotta do Mace Windu. Yeah, I mean, Mace Windu. Why not? When I see this color, I just automatically think of Luke Skywalker.
To me, this is Luke's color. Even though he had a couple different colors, this is Luke's color. This isn't a Luke sound font, but to me, that's Luke's color. And just that sound, when you clash on it. Yeah, I mean, Sabertrio, like, you can't do wrong with the Sabertrio. One thing I love on this is there's a lot of little details on here that are just awesome. They have these cool little like recessed areas with just kind of like these like little patterns on it. They don't really serve any purpose. It's just style, but it just looks really, really nice. Just everything on this is just kind of what you expect from Sabertrio. If you haven't actually held a Sabertrio or seen one in person and you believe that they're very, very high quality, they are. I cannot say enough how much I love Sabertrio. I have two of them. I started with my Aaron. Actually, I didn't start, but this is my first Sabertrio. But for Sabertrio, I started with my Aaron, and I was sold. The second I got this thing, I was like, okay, this company is legit. I love this company. And I really wanted to get Senza. They were just sold out when I bought my Aaron, so I said, okay, next time a reopening comes around, I'm gonna get a Senza, and I did, and I do not regret it at all. This thing is absolutely amazing. One thing that's really cool too, these fins are removable. You actually don't even have to order them if you don't want. If you want it without the fins, you can order it without. The fins I think are 25 bucks if I remember correctly, so if you want, you can do it without the fins. I think you should. It's 25 bucks, really cool style. But if you get them, something cool you can do with it. Check this out. Okay, so fins. Let's just remove one fin, not both of them, just one. So you just have it on there really, really tight. You just unscrew these two sets of screws right here. So undo the first one. Let's undo the second one. And now, to me, this is like a completely different lightsaber. Put a blade in a moment to show you what it looks like, but it's got kind of just a more unique kind of look to it. Some people might not like it. I personally think it's cool that way. You can choose whatever side. It actually does look different with the way you're holding it, depending on what side it's on. One other thing that's really cool, if you already have a Sabertrio, you can do this. If you don't already have one, they sell pommels by themselves, and you can swap out the pommel. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, hey, you know what? I have an Aaron with this pommel. Let me see what it looks like. So first off, since I already got the Aaron, put the Senza pommel on the Aaron. Nice, really clean, just kind of like subtle look to it. And my cat just knocked the tripod, so sorry about the shaking. But so now, for my Senza, if I throw the Aaron pommel on there, it kind of matches. Like, this thing to me kind of has like an old Claymore kind of style hilt to it. Obviously a Claymore would be more like a solo guard with how big it is up here, but whatever. This part kind of reminds me of a Claymore, so this kind of matches. And now with the single fin, different pommel, it's a completely different lightsaber. And just because I want to turn it on again, let's put a blade back in. Okay, blade in, new pommel, solo fin, and it's a completely different lightsaber. I personally think that looks pretty cool. And the fact that you have options with the Senza, taking the fins on and off. Pommels, I think they're like 15 to 20 bucks a piece, so they're not that much. So if you buy one or two other pommels, and you can kind of completely change the look of it with just that one thing. And if you have another Sabertrio, just swap them. And I probably will, between my two, just swap them back and forth every now and then. I honestly cannot say enough about this lightsaber or this company. If you were thinking about buying a Sabertrio, just do it. This company is phenomenal. Customer service is phenomenal. The product is phenomenal, and the experience is phenomenal. With that being said, I think I'm going to take off, so peace.